Okay, g'day and welcome guys to something a little bit different today. So Quetra, this player in blue here, has made a vouch request, and if you guys are seeing this, he's given me permission to upload my analysis of the 4 replays. Okay, so this will hopefully, if you're watching this, help you guys understand like my thought process when I'm reviewing a vouch request. And this just like generally will come with tips from what I see, just how I think the optimal way to play would be within the game state that's given. Can also sort of think if you yourself sort of want to join Lihl, you can use the points that I'm going to sort of be mentioning probably over and over, to incessantly, and just think about them when you're playing. Last thing I'd say is if or when you do apply, I highly recommend you pick through your replays and choose ones where you think you actually genuinely play well, rather than ones where you might have misread the game or misplayed in some manner. Okay, very much recommend that. Anyway, so just to quickly go over the points that normally I look for. Alright, so number 1 is unit choice. That's all about just the unit you pick. Relatively simple most of the time. If you play Harpy over Egg, not a good unit choice. If you play Aqua, good unit choice. Super simple, right? Number 2, I would say, is the most important in general, adaptation, okay? Do you overbuild to cover sends, underbuild to feed your teammates? And how do you play out your role in the game? Are you a carry? Are you a lumber lane? Are you trying to clear and support your carry? Okay, really important to know that. Number 3, placement. It's obviously just how you build your units. Strongly depends what actual units you're playing, okay? But in general, things like wall clog super important, or just how to share damage between melee and ranged. It's different for every unit, but it's always important to sort of have an eye on it, alright, and just have an understanding of it. Okay, next we've got our push timing. Pretty simple. It's basically, are we efficient with our push? Example, not staying 7-0 when we could be 6-1, things like that. And are we pushing quickly? Like, do we seem to have a plan for the next level, or are we just waiting for the next level and going like, okay, so I have this much gold, now what do I do, right? That's obviously not what we want. We want efficient plans every level, okay? Next is the mid-game build. This one is relatively self-explanatory. It's like, do you build reasonably well for the mid-game? Do you sort of use the right units, mix the right units, drop and reroll at the right or wrong times? Do you drop at all? Things like that. I mean, it's relatively simple. Most of the time you can zoom through it, but sometimes there are glaring mistakes that need, or glowing positives that can be pointed out. Number 6, calls. It's the least important without a doubt. Relevant, you can use it to judge game knowledge, but it's not mandatory in Lihl, and neither is king control. The number one replay is called turret, so I'm assuming we're playing this unit. Let's get underway. So we've got turret with ranger, bear, void dragon, guardian of death. So we've got hold options for 7 and level 10. So starting 3-0 instead of ranger, I think that's fine. I kind of like the ranger, but it's not needed. So, our teammates' roles, we always got to look at this. Got engineer on red, potentially into a reroll. We've got privateer on teal, not starting optimally, but that's okay. We've got another turret with ranger, who actually rerolled level 1 into polar NG wyvern. We'll see if he keeps this. I'll personally sell it. I don't like his synergy there. Okay, so his team sends warriors, which is fine. We'll quick look at the enemies. Obviously, don't take it too much into account. EA with 2 1s, engineer and sea giant. So bye-bye sea giant. The rest of them, besides that, is pretty good. So we've sent warriors. How's this team on level 2? He kept the NG, so he should clear first more or less any send. He's pretty reasonable on 2. He's not too bad on 2, and he's okay on 2. So staying 3-0, that's fine. Even versus double slow kill, it's actually going to be a mid-egg, which is bullshit. Yeah, even versus the slow kill onto, I think there's no need to risk, because they could definitely send 3. You see NG and EA, so you should know double 1-0. Should know double 1-0. Did he actually send a goal? That's funny as fuck if he did. I didn't even notice. Even though you see the double 1-0, there's still a chance they send 2 and 3. Turret is remarkably unreliable on level 4 with 4 turret tier 1. I personally don't like risking it. So I think it's completely fine to stay. The end positioning, I do like it in front. I know some people prefer it in the back. I'm still a big believer of like put the tier 1 in front. But not gonna say it's a mistake because I know it's contentious. And you know, I know there are different options. Did he actually send a goal? Surely he didn't. That would be funny though. Yep, so opponent's team wants to send 3. Unfortunately we've got the chat from the other team, but I can't do anything about that, so we just work with it. So far so good from, yep, everything. This is big, kill and slow, yep. Okay, so 5 turret here, how's the placement? Some people like this placement. I like this turret here, but I know people such as Moa, Nikki, both of those guys like this placement, so once again, not wrong. It's different to how I would do it, which you can construe as being wrong. Undead Privateer, interesting. It's like the old school way of playing that. Anyway, gets a Blood Orc. Quick Blood Orc goes straight on the turret, so he might lake a bit. That's why I like the tier 1 in front, because of those quick Blood Orcs, but anyway, that's fine. So he's pushing, which is good, as he should be. He's still doing well. Just gonna lake the Blood Orc. NG goes mid to the Furb. So now he knows that his Engineer player has gone mid versus Ascend, and so is the Privateer actually, big mid. So they'll eat everything, which is cool, but this is super weak on 5 to Ascend. So he's not obligated to overbuild 5, especially if Teal's gonna continue overbuilding. He might not. But wouldn't be upset to see him overbuild 5 for sure. As he likes. Yeah, so either way is fine there. I think you could overbuild. I think you could do like 1 extra turret and look to clear Ascend on 5. It's apples and oranges for me. I think both ways have their upsides. Okay, can get another Wisp. Yep, awesome. So all good so far. Just like standard turret. Yeah. See how he goes from here. Where does he build? Interesting. I think that's when you like double click. So I expect to see another turret here. So we're patrolling. Oh, hurry up, come on man. Hurry up and build. Okay, that's weird. Ranger at the back and then a Wisp. So 5 turret, tier 2, tier 1 can definitely hold. If you're planning to do that, should do that earlier. Personally with an Engineer, I would always go for the 6 turret. Especially because this is like, it's not a great mix. If that Hellraiser gets sniped, there could be a leak. This is not particularly good on level 5, so I would definitely look to have a couple of turrets mid to help just kill the Engineer leaks. So I think this is a mistake here. I would definitely have just stayed 6-2 and got the turret. Moreover, obviously this push is super late, which makes it less efficient, which kind of belies the benefit you'd even get from doing that. But anyway, he's still got probably like an 80% chance to mid here. But there is a chance to leak. Okay, will indeed be leaking, which I would say is not ideal. They haven't gone for a clog, or that wasn't their plan because they haven't done regen yet. I think that was just a bit of an overpush. So there's definitely a mistake. Slightly painful one actually, because with the feed here, like they don't need to king leak this game, or on 5 here. That's just not necessary. Pushes 7-3, which is Like if their plan was Clog, I obviously can't see the chat. If the plan was Clog, it's really weird to me that Teal built the way he did, and it's really weird to me that they didn't do any regen until level 5 started. Because their king was full HP, they could have just done regen all throughout 4. So it may have been like a late call or something, in which case the build makes sense, but I think in general, not such a fan. I don't like that. And moreover, pushing 7-3 here means that he is going to leak quite a lot on 6. He probably won't get enough gold for the turret, probably have to sell the Ant, if not the Ranger. Which is not what you want. Sorry, I should go faster through this king control as well. You guys can obviously skip through this, but... Ooh, we actually get the gold. Lucky, lucky. I didn't think we'd get quite that much. Alright. So, yep, good build. Personally would build it here, but I think that placement's fine. I like this a little bit less here, but I can see how it would share the damage better with the creeps moving around this side. But its damage will it's more likely to be less focused, because these 4 turrets will hit the creeps sort of here. These 2 might hit creeps that are sort of like flanking around here. So I would try have like 5 turrets actually damaging like creeps in the same area, because obviously the AoE synergizes with itself. We'll see how it goes. Might be fine. It's one of those things, I don't love the placement, but it's not terrible. You know, it's not like stupid placement. It's just not what I do. Thing is, we have built like a little bit far at the back as well, so a lot of these creeps are getting the armor buff. I generally start building turrets a little bit further forward, because like a Warclog turret is not too bad. Anyway, as I said, like pretty rip here with the fast 7-3. Maybe they have immolation, not judging by the lack of send. But we'll see. Maybe they have immolation. I don't think so though. So Privateer is getting fed as hell, which is what it is, I guess. It's not exactly a carry roll. So I'd say this is the lane that should have re-rolled on 1, because this is like not a great YOLO, and you can drop it. You can drop 5 of these and like YOLO completely from there and have like this entire base set up super nicely if you get nothing better. Because this to me is like a below average YOLO. Well, no, not really. It's about average, but one of the strengths of it is you can drop 4 of them on level 1 and just play the YOLO from there if you get nothing better. Anyway, up turret here. Definitely want that on the front one. Here is okay, but in general you want it to tank a bit more, particularly on level 8 and level 9, so I'd always be upping the front one. If it was me. For 8 and 9 it's better. But, you know, not too bad. So yeah, his team's all pushed up nicely. It's good. Privateer's pretty high value versus send, so it's able to clear relatively well. See if it's immolation. You can see Tin managing lines like a fucking maniac. He's good at that. Alright, Shockwave on his team, immolation, other team, kill. We'll just fast forward through this. Not that interested in KC, and it's not even the player I'm watching, Quetra, controlling, so it's a bit whatever. There's 3 heals. It's painful, but that's what it is. Alright, got 270 gold, so it's time for that. What do we do? Yeah, a couple of turrets. We actually reroll. That's fine. We have a ranger drop, so I'm cool with rerolling there. What do we do? We get an archer. Not a fan. Get a flying machine. Much more of a fan. Double spectre. One of them here. Alright. So the mistake we made, that reroll timing was good. We had everything we needed out of the roll. We drop enough turrets to hold level 8 if we get nothing better. If we do get better things, then we sell those turrets. Okay, so that was a really good decision to reroll. That was good timing on the reroll. I also rerolled turret with not the best adds on level 8. He had the ranger, which is the only other thing he really wants, and then he just sees. So he gets flying machine, elite archer, and spectre. So it actually would have been better to keep one more of those turrets and just get the flying machine, but not too bad to do it like he did. Actually, oh no, never mind, he couldn't. Sorry, my calc was all wrong in my head. No. Sold the turrets he did, which is perfect. Flying machine, yep, good position, good unit to build. One spectre here is fine. I would build another spectre right here, or right here. Yeah, but besides that, besides the like slight APM loss because he built it too far back and it cancelled, it's a good decision to reroll. Changed his units well. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, as you can see, he's holding here. Definitely want to be pushing though. This is not a 7-3 roll. Doesn't have that much to damage 10 with, even though he's got melee and he can like spam pierce. It's just not going to be that consistent. Even with one heal, I would let this dude stay 7-3. This should definitely stay 7-3 and get Dark Priest nulls. This is big mistake 7-4. I would be going 7-4 here and staying 7-3 here without a doubt. Maybe he fears they're dead on 10. If we fear the death on 10, then okay. Shouldn't go for helicopter though. Helicopter is a mistake. If you're gonna stay 7-3, that with this roll, that to me says like that's a bad decision. Basically, with this roll in like the quote-unquote ordinary game state, this is not really a 7-3 roll, right? Hasn't got like too much of the carry potential in the mid game. Can if you're fat enough, but it's also like turret, melee. It's inconsistent 10. It's good at doing damage, not very good at holding. Chances are 7-3 against a big send, you leak one boss. 7-4 against a big send, you leak one boss. Like chances are you're going to get very similar results. So this 7-3 says to me like, oh shit, think we might die 10. And if your mind is like, oh shit, think we might die 10, leave this small, okay? Because it's like +2 damage on all these turrets, which is nice, but it's really not that important. And it actually, the magic damage is obviously a bit worse than the pierce damage, and you have the melee eye. So you're actually much better off just building flying machines and small archers. Okay, small archer 1 in front for the pull is like super good. Then bunch of small archers, you can grab one more up turret if you really want. Up a spectre for a debuff is like okay. Probably would stay away from that personally. But I think this helicopter is not a good decision, right? Because it will for the 170 gold you spend on it, it won't actually improve your 10 hold. You had better options for 170 gold basically. Even though it's good value for mid game, I think you just go 7-4. If that was your focus. Anyway, he cancelled. Good, cancelled. Built a Dark Priest, built a Troll Fighter, or kept the Troll Fighter. Not a fan of this at all. Like, it's nice, but your job this game is to hold 10. And if Teal holds 10, he doesn't need a Troll Fighter to hold in the mid game. He'll already be holding level 15, which is Dark Priest Zombie. So, anyway, it is what it is. I should be staying 7-3 now. Definitely don't want him to push. If you stayed 7-3 for 9 with 1270 cheeky melee eye, with 1270 value, you just stay. Anyway, big send. Everyone's doing their own pudge, which is fine. Pink had a pigeon in his room. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's see how his hold goes. And this is not a bad send, not an amazing send. So he goes for 1 upgraded, holy shit, he had a lot of gold here. 1 upgraded Spectre, okay. Then what do we build? Archers. It's fine, the placement is fine. Okay, don't like this. Don't like this Elite Archer at all. Okay, so Elite Archer, 13 to 13 damage, right? So really low focus damage. So it doesn't synergize well with the melee eye. Really low focus damage, so in general, not a good unit 10. They can be okay at killing dinos, but you already have plenty of that with all your turrets. Good at sniping dinos. So all it needs is focus damage to synergize with this melee eye, right? And that to me is like small archers or flying machines, right? And then specters with spare gold, okay? So definitely like pretty TK move to get the EA here, right? If you were 7-4, 7-5, well, not if you were 7-4. If you were 7-5 or 7-6 and lower value, I can understand the EA just to clear the dinos as best you can. But not when you're staying 7-3. You're not building Elite Archers for 10 if you're staying 7-3. Little slow on the APM as well with this farm, so just like think about your farm earlier. If you know you're going to need a farm, then just prep it early. Or, yeah, just prep it early, be ready for it. Anyway, nice focus first boss, but it's gonna all go to shit because turret's a fucking TK. We're gonna leak... Jeez, we still managed to hold. Insane. Okay. Well done. I mean... The nice thing is I don't have to take back all my criticism because I know I'm still right, even though he did just prove me wrong a little bit. So yeah, well done for going mid, but not optimal. Late push on the 7-5. I think it is a game for 7-5 with this roll. And let Teal stay 7-4. So yeah, 7-5 is fine. Just make sure you're nice and quick as you get the kills. Not a massive deal to be a bit slow with it though. Okay, fast forward through the king control because bloody snooze fest. Alright, what do we got now? So question is, do you keep this roll on your 50 roll? So, kind of depends on red. He's got 420 gold here. So it depends on the leaks. I can't see his team's plan. If this is a 15 game, I'm happy enough to keep this for a bit. Because I have Helicopter Spectre with Vouch frontline. And Disciple for more clear as well. So happy enough to keep that. I have EA for 16. If we're looking at a 17 game, maybe I want to cover 16. Probably not needed this game. But not too bad. I mean, you have double mutant if they're relatively alive. Yeah, I could see keeping the elite archer actually with double mutant. Even though, but I think you should force 15 this game. You should play towards your fat lanes. So this game, the fat lanes on West are blue and teal. The two mutant lanes are actually the much weaker lanes this game. But anyway, we'll see where we go. Saving gold for arena, I'm not a fan of that here. Definitely think there was a potential to win the arena. Generally they have pretty nice arena units. So I'm not a fan of saving the gold here. I don't think it's like a massive issue. Well, it's not a massive issue, but would be building for arena for sure. Would definitely build for arena. Like you've got Melee, whole bunch of Pierce, Mutant's not bad, killing a front line, Dark Priest, like got a lot of damage, not much front line. Just purely speaking about arena. Definitely needed to increase your APM, brother. Don't like the Spectre placement either. If you're building for 15, you're using Spectres for DPS, and your turret should be the tanks. So you actually want to get something in front here for a walk log. Can be a Spectre. And then Spectres out to the side, and they'll focus on your DPS. And, well, Spectres will be your DPS, basically. And turrets will be your tanks, because turrets are shit house on 15. They just don't do anything. Even with the melee, they're still pretty bad. Alright, more Spectres, kill. Definitely need some frontline though. Okay, we reroll. Would have dropped a couple of war chiefs personally as well before rerolling. So I would have built up to maybe like this here, or at least dropped like a war chief because it's not a bad frontline unit. You've got better stuff now that you've rerolled for sure, but it's not too bad. Problem with Spectre is as well. What I should also say is with Spectre, right? The upgraded Spectre, pretty shit for 15, right? So if you're going to drop and reroll Spectres, you got to prep like 2 to 3 fucking farms and then just fucking shift click all the Spectres, right? Because like this, now, okay, you've got your Magnetor. Like, what the hell else are you going to do with the rest of your gold, right? You don't want to upgrade Spectres, it's inefficient as all hell. So you're kind of forced into like frontline. And like a couple of frontline units, helpful. But you don't want to be spending like the rest of your gold on frontline. Because then you just might, it's a fair chance you just won't have enough damage, right? Especially versus Angry Send. So, would have definitely looked for some more damage. Unlucky to not actually get any backline damage in this roll. But I think like when you're planning your rerolls with your drops, always want to plan for the worst. And for the worst case scenario for him is like either I don't get any frontline or I don't get any like backline damage. So it's like generally a shithouse roll with nothing. So I need to make sure I drop like a usable frontline unit and then drop as much damage as I get. Realistically, you'll almost always get some form of frontline, even if it's like fucking Neotank. Like Neotank Walklog is actually not too bad at all. Like same with Azure Dragon Walklog. Most like tier 6 units, even if they're not good, they can just function as dumb frontline. So really important to like drop some more damage than he had. Anyway, see how he goes. Fast forward through this a bit more now. I know I said I often go through mid-game on like 16 speed, but there's a bit to talk about. Kill. So another cyborg. Yeah, and see how we're upgrading the Spectres just because we've run out of basically damage stuff to build. Upgraded Spectres are not very good. He's fat as hell, so still got mid potential without a doubt. But upgraded Spectres, not good.
Upgrade complete. Job's done. Research complete.
Okay, War Chief here. It's fine. Generally you want the War Chief in front because it's got 150 range for some... I actually thought War Chief had more range than that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, I always build War Chief in front. See where it walks. Maybe I'm wrong. No, looks like this is fine. Alright, cool. No Behemoth on him, which he'll be happy about. Which he'll actually be fucking stoked about. Spectres love the lack of Behemoth, man. Yeah, Teal's 4300 value with a shitload of Dark Priest, so probably can't break. See, without the Behemoth, there's just not that big wall he has to kill. The other thing is the spell from the Wraith is fucking useless on 15, doesn't do anything, which is why it's quite weak. Anyway, he does go mid, no Behemoth, which was definitely saving grace for him. Behemoth he would leak, but still good. So yeah, we'll see who dies first. I believe his team will be winning this one, unless they have 0 heals, and I believe they have 1. They do, and win. Alright, well done, not too bad, not too bad. So thinking about it in an overall sort of sense, I'd probably give that game 6 out of 10. So the early game was good, the 1 to 4 was good. It was just standard turret, no mistakes. Bit weird on 5, didn't seem to me like you planned a clog, so I think you just underbuilt there, which is okay if you've got lanes that can actually benefit from it. You ended up king leaking 40 odd units. If your plan was clog, then alright, but it just didn't look like it with the way Teal built and without doing regen until level 5 when your king was full HP. Then good on 8, really good on 8. Bit of an overpush to 7-3 actually. I think you need to stay a little bit lower for 6 just to not like quite so much. Good on 8 for sure. Build on 10 was a big issue with that elite archer. Like 7-3 building elite archer for 10 is like not so good. Not what you want to be doing. If you're 7-3, it means you want to hold 10, right? 7-3 for 10 means hold 10. Elite archer and holding 10. No, those two things don't go together, right? Then for the mid game, not too bad. Just want to like increase the APM, prep the farms when you got shit like Spectre or Akko and you want to drop a whole hell of a lot of them. So prep those farms early. Just drop a bit more than you did, especially with Spectre. Spectre's kind of a weird case. Just because the upgraded Spectre is shit. It doesn't, like, so much of the gold in that 90 gold, so much of the value is in the spell. And the spell is fucking awful on 15. It doesn't do anything. So yeah, overall, like a 6 out of 10. Not a bad replay for sure, but also some like relatively simple mistakes. But you know, it's a good base to show like, can you play turret? Well, yeah, you can. Can everyone play turret? Yeah, most people can. So you know, there's some upside and some downside for sure. So anyway, on to replay number 2. Which is EA Mouth, I believe. Kill. So green this game. Okay, EA Mouth, as he says. A certain Lihl player would start this over this, but I hope we're not going to do that. Okay, we've got Prisoner with Spectre on our team. Probably going to keep that. Team has Ig with... pretty weak ads, to be honest. Planning TOC, okay. Not the easiest TOC to get to. Probably, maybe it's Butcher TOC, could be. And we've got Harlot with Ranger, okay. Just playing EA. Alright, firstly, oh well, we'll give you a minute to change it. Enemy team, Harlot, I assume Malf or Sea Giant, Malf probably. NG or Nightmare. Yeah, log kill. It's just for interest's sake. Alrighty, advice number 1. Elite Archer, right? You need your small archers to tank for it on level 2, 3 if you build an extra one, 4 if you have an extra one, then 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. So your chances are you're going to have like an EA here, but then you're going to have like small archer, small archer, small archer, small archer, right? So I would always start EA further in the back, okay? Because you should know that you're going to be building in front of it most games with the small archers and the tier 1s, right? So I would build the EA where the Proton is, and for the Proton, you can build it where the EA is, you can build it down next to it here. I think both are fine. Either 2 spaces in front or like 1 space off the wall and just behind. I'm not sure what I prefer. I'm kind of like bouncing in between the two. Hard to say. In general, you want it to block the warriors. In either position, it will do that. So that's not a big deal, by the way. That's like relatively minor. It will just make your build, it will just make it easier to place, basically, as you go into the game. Anyway, at 3-0, nice and standard. So it looks like there's a 2 send incoming. So you send your Furb, I assume, even if it's after income. Indeed, good boy. EA, bow. EA behind, big mistake, big mistake, alright? Always just EA in front. It's just like one of these really simple little changes you can make. Small archer rather in front, small archer in front. Small archer in front means that if you get a Furb, a fast Furb, it goes on the small archer, and, okay. I'll say it like this, with EA, small archer in front, and no tier 1, I've never leaked more than 4 creeps on level 2. Like this, even with the tier 1, I've seen people leaking like 12 creeps on level 2, just because the fast Furb kills the elite archer so quickly. This small archer is a 180 HP tank on level 2. It doesn't do any relevant damage at all, okay? So the only thing you should be focused on for level 2 is like keep this elite archer alive as long as possible, and then you'll never leak more than a send, okay? Unless you get a Blood Orc, then you can still leak more. But obviously, like, no chance of Blood Orc this game. So yeah, small archer in front. For our team, we did 2 ranger here, and we've pushed, so really not sure what the plan is now. Be a little worried for 3. We went Ice Troll, stayed 2-0, yes indeed. So probably Maverick 3, and we're second Harlot, okay. Team, EA in, or small archer in front. Savant there, good to see. Malf having not such a great time. Bit of a leak there. Malf actually holding. What send did you get? Might have been just bows. Anyway, so what do you guys see mid? You see a Harlot with a Ranger. AoE leak. Yeah, indeed. And then you see the Spider, which is with the Malf, but you can't know that. You can guess it. It's not the hardest thing to guess, but you can't know it for sure. Kill. Alright, level 3, upgrade the EA, no issues. You can get another tier 1 if you want in front of the archer. I would say you don't have to. Looking at my teammates' builds here, I would. Both of them have gone for melee. Melee is fucking awful early in the game, so I would be I would be irritated if I was seeing that doubly on my team. So I'd definitely be building that tier 1, because I would expect this guy to leak to Blood Orc. I'd expect this guy to leak to Furb or Blood Orc. Okay? So I would be getting that tier 1 just to try and like 100% clear 3 or even mid. So obviously, like, not your biggest issue. Quick efficiency thing here. Cancel this Wisp. Push that Lumberjack first. More efficient push. Should even be 3-1 is the first thing you do. Yep, so from 3-0 to 3-1 is going to be most efficient there. 4-0 to 4-1, it's fine, especially if you're a little low on the wood. But definitely don't want to be 5-0 to 5-1 when you can push the lumberjack earlier. Again, not a massive issue, just one of those like efficiency things. Anyway, we can push another lumberjack here for sure. Yep, and we do. And push another wisp if you want to be risky. If your teammate goes double egg, he goes actually tock on 5, so it's this 2-0 tock. 2-0 tock is full TK, I hate it. Okay, yeah, you got mouth, indeed. I even forgot about that. Okay, do I like the positioning? I do like the positioning on the mouth. I think normally I would build it just one spot higher up. But in general, suck the creeps to the wall, and then the mouth goes forward. It shares a bit with the first archer. It's good. Not as good versus send. I would indeed get a tier 1 in front here, especially if you expect to send. So your harlot, it's not that great. It's pretty good on 5, it's not insane. Your top clears, but it's 2-0 clear, which is pretty TK. So yeah, see how you do. If you expect to send with this build, 100% you want a tier 1 in front, because that way the Blood Orc will come here and hit the tier 1, and then the next thing it'll hit is the mouth, which will give you EA's maximum, like, not being hit by the Blood Orc time, which is the time you want. Good. Nice job. I spent the whole spiel explaining it and then you just did it in the last couple of seconds, so good shit. So we'll watch your lane. As you can see, Blood Orc's actually stuck, but it won't be able to get to the EA. And you see the mouth taking most of the damage. Actually goes right around the back. I mean, that's just weird, right? It's not going to happen too often. But you're able to clear pretty well. You push Lumberjack, which is fine. Don't get enough gold for the Wisp. But no worries. Insane. Tok just had Blood Orc. No other sand. And Tok goes mid. Alright. It's pretty much should be GG from there. The 2 overbuild lanes that were overbuild and get fed. It's a bit of a weird straight 5 send into a slow kill. Not a fan of it, but you know, can work. Sometimes people like 2 sends after 5. So what are you going to do? You're going to sell that for a small archer? Okay. Number one thing, firstly, you don't really need to do that. You can risk with the mouth, especially considering they just sent, and you've got like the harlot that's going to eat it, a maverick that would eat a resend if they even tried it, which would be stupid as hell. And your team's planning full 7, so personally, I would just push the wisp and be happy with the leak. Like, you're not the carry this game. Even though this roll is good, after that 5 send, it's like, this re-rolls into carry, and this is like overbuilding so much he has to play carry. Now he's taking so much feed, right? So you're no longer the carry, you're all like a good dog lane, right? You want to provide the lumber, leak if your team wants it, hold if your team wants it, and just go from there. So you're looking like 7-6, 7-7, right? Is how I would already be thinking about this. So I'd be perfectly happy to leak a bit on 6. 2 EA, mouth, 2 tier 1, you've even got a pretty decent chance of holding. I would say like it, actually, I would be not at all surprised if you held. Maybe like 50-50, but couldn't see you leaking more than like 4 creeps. Anyway, next thing. If you want to build the small archer, in front. Always, always, always. Yep. Alright, from here. Because, yeah, you just want to protect your AIs, man. They're your damage. So as you can see, this one's taking quite a bit of damage. And just like too much damage, basically. So if you had that tier 1 in front still, you would go better here. So you can see you're actually going to leak. Whoa, 4 creeps, that's a bit painful. One more shot would have got you 3 kills, but yeah, it's a little unlucky, but I think you would have done better if you didn't actually sell the proton, because I think the proton positioning was super good and the archer positioning was pretty awful. Anyway, not a massive issue. You're just 7-3 here. Not sure why you're not going 7-4. Your team doesn't need you to do anything except push this game. You're sitting on a whole lot of dead gold. It's okay to leak 8 with you as well. I don't know if you want to like cover an 8 send. I guess it's possible, but I really wouldn't be too stressed about it with Archer after you've already leaked on 5 and no King Gold on 5. You're already a pretty weak line. So like an 8. Especially if you guys are actually skipping 7, like they're not gonna fucking want to race on 8. That's just crazy. Double melee, oh, fuck me, man. Yeah, I think you'd just be 7-4. Like, your job is not to cover 8 this game, even though they are sending. It's like, your job is not to cover 8. Your job is to just provide lumber and push for your team. Especially, like, if you're not sending, you've got 2 holders, like, there's not going to be much King Gold on 7. Meaning that you're going to not be able to cover 8 anyway. I'd just go for the early push. Let my team do its thing. Abno versus EA, it's a toss-up. You could go either way. You know what I'm going to say about the small archer? Put it fucking here. It's all good though. I do 1 commander each. Alright, 3 melee. Fuck, we're still going. Yeah, blimey. It's fucking 4 melee eyes and it's only level 8 in this game. That is insane. Oh man, it's pretty funny though. Anyway, they leak 95, like it's just, yeah, it's just pretty fucked from here. What are they gonna lose? Even with Thornmail, they're gonna lose 2 heals. 3 heals? No. Well, not 2 heals. Thought it was gonna be 2, whatever. Okay. Are you still 7-3? No, you're 7-4 now. Good. You can fast push 7-5 and get a small archer like in front and rest tier 1s. Don't like this grizzly at all. I don't like the placement. I would put it here. I don't like building it in general. It doesn't do anything. I mean, it's helpful for 11, but if you're looking to build for 11, with the gold you had, just like grab another couple of mouths, Abnos for 10, and damage 10 that way. They're better for 11. They help you more arena. Don't like this grizzly at all, man. You could definitely do better than it. It just has no synergy with your build. Anyway, going 7-5 here. It's a good decision for sure. You leak a bit, but that's fine. You probably still give bounty. You might not actually. So 10 to 20. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, 7-5. And you're full skipping 10. Alright, sure. Not too stressed about the calls, really, this game. Surprised by the full skip, though. You guys had decent 10 hold, they had fuck all 10 hold, really, so doesn't make too much sense to me, but alright. Greymane here. I mean, I would rather an Elite Archer here, man. You have more chance to just clear the dinos and like the Ferb and all that with Elite Archer. Like Greymane might take like 30% HP off one boss, but that's not even going to be that helpful. Chances are he just does something stupid because he's Greymane, and I swear it's the dumbest unit in the game. Highborn for 10. So looking at your team quickly, got the Melee Eye, which is good. Mass Sentry is better than Saber. Time Steal is not bad, 10. Highborn for 10 is absolutely terrible. The Regen Aura is like the main part of the 170 gold you pay for it. There's like a bit in the stats, but it's the Regen Aura, and the Regen Aura is shithouse on 10 because there's just big focus damage instead of spread out shared damage. So shithouse unit for 10. We're talking just 4 fucking Melee Eyes and then Mass Rangers, right? So we got a whole lot of damage, no Mass Clear. Yeah, so I wouldn't be too confident on my team's holds, but it is a relatively low send, so they should be fine. But yeah, definitely just look to kill the dinos, man. Like, we're gonna watch this Greymane. Hits like this boss for some reason, takes like 20% HP. You kill the dinos anyway, but it's just not helpful. It's really not. You could get another Abno for that gold. You could get more Elite Archers and just be able to cover like 12, 13, 14, 16. Not that any of those levels really need covering for your team, but still. Yeah. They ate everything in mid. There's 3 melee eyes there. What is with bloody mass melee eyes this game? I'm going to count the melee eyes at fucking arena, man. I've never seen this many. It's insane. Right, up another EA, that's good. Couple of small archers. On the wall, please. You really want that wall clog. So what wall clog means is the creeps up here. Let's say you've got these 2 archers you just built. Let's say one is here and one is here. These creeps will come in on level 11 over here, here. And then they'll see this archer here and go like, oh, I'm going to fucking kill you, right? So then they'll all move to the wall and they'll start to clog on the wall like this. Okay, and the ones at the back will be like stuck. They'll go like move forward, stop, move forward, stop, move forward, stop, move forward, stop. Because the Warcraft AI is like stupid, right? So they'll clog, 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 and like 80% of the wave will be doing fuck all for like a good 5 seconds, right? So it just helps you hold. It really helps you hold, okay? So if you had those 2 here, the creeps would clog to the wall, then your melee units would run forward, okay? The creeps that would start to spill out of the wall clog, okay, which would otherwise be like walking around to surround, they'll see your melee units, and they'll attack your melee units, then your melee units will be fighting those, okay? While your archers are just at the back doing DPS. Anyway, melee I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 melee eyes on East. There are 1, 2, 3 melee eyes. 3 melee eyes on West. There are 9 melee eyes at Arena. 9 fucking melee eyes. That is insane. Oh my god, I've never seen so many melee eyes. That is crazy. This is nuts, man. Alright, I think it's completely fine to stay 7-5 here now that you're already 7-5, trying to win the arena and all that. It's fine. I would definitely have wanted to be higher push though, earlier. Right, you had the opportunity to be 7-4 for level 8, and I would have taken that, which would have meant 7-5 for 9 and 7-6 during 9. Okay, upping EAs here, completely fine. Think you can just go full EA at this point. Alrighty, sorry for the little jump in footage there. What actually happened is I turned my mic off and completely forgot to turn it back on, so this little bit is going to be in post commentary here, alright? And the normal sound will start up in about 5 minutes, I believe, okay? So, my bad. But anyway, moving on. Leak on 12 should more or less cement this as a 15 game. Yeah, so we'll see where we go from here. I'm just counting the melee eyes. I'm actually going to take some screenshots of the melee eyes. It's fucking 9 melee eyes at Arena, man. Like, how insane is that? 3 different lanes. I don't believe I've ever seen so many melee eyes in my life on Arena. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, keep it on with the elite archers. It's good. I think you can definitely just go full elite archer. The thing is, again with the placement, right, you need that wall clog. Anyway, Hawk in front, terrible. Don't go Dragon Hawk in front, right? What happens on 14 and 15, because it's fucking medium armor, right? Runs in front, dies. It's quick, and it's flying, okay? So it doesn't share with your melee units like other range units in front would, okay? Just doesn't function the same way. It's quick, it's flying, pretty high aggro range, likes to just fucking run in front and make sure it has a very short lifespan, right? Not a good unit to have in front. It's backline DPS. I don't know why people think it's a tank. On some levels it can be used as a tank, 12 and 13, not for 14, 15. And yeah, you make the same mistake. So you can see I pause and I'm like annoyedly shaking my mouse around it. Number 1, so what's this Dragonhawk going to do, right? You have no other front line, or your front line is right at the back, so it's going to move into the middle of the lane, fucking die. That's all it's going to do. It's going to die super quickly, it's barely going to get any damage off, okay? What you need instead is elite archers on the wall clog, right? It's so important. That is how ranged builds, like primarily ranged builds, function, okay? It's the wall clog. Just gives you so much extra uptime on your damage, right? It's so critical. So you can see this Griffin here is just dying, right? Imagine if there was a send, just rips super quickly. You actually end up leaking 14 because this is Dragonhawk as well. Maybe on the unlucky side, but you just shouldn't have gone for it in the first place, man. Like, it's not going to help you clear 15. It's actually going to make you do worse on 15 than fully A would. Yeah, so you're 7-5 sending 3100, and I don't know how much value you have, but you're not even going to be able to clear. So seems to me you didn't quite like clue into what your role was, what your job was this game. Like as soon as level 5 happened, it's just like, all right, that sucks. I'm pushing, right? Anyway, yeah, upgrade the Griffin. Shouldn't have done that. You do sell the Proton for an EA, which is a good decision for sure. But nah, there's just like there's not much you can do, but there's definitely things you could do better here, right? You just like fuck that Griffon off out of here. It doesn't exist, right? You get like 3 more EAs, 2 more EAs and a couple of small archers, and it's just so much better. As you can see, like the Griffin's off the wall, it's taking damage. It's just gonna get fucking popped like so quickly. See, it got hit by the Kraken there. Then yeah, it's dead. Same thing happened to Pink's first Griffin as well. They just die so quickly in front. I know I said it already in this little spiel, but they're backline DPS. They're not frontline tanks. They don't share damage properly. They move before they attack, unlike some other ranged units. For example, like Neo Tank will generally be good and stay where it is. Sorry if there was another cut in the footage there. It's all a little bit messy around this point. I'm sort of starting, stopping. I do apologise for that. Yeah, it'll go back to normal very, very soon. Anyway, not able to clear with very low value. It's just not quite what we want to see. I think I've jumped back into that in just a second. So yeah, it's not your fault. This game to be relatively low value, but that just is what it is. Alright, and we're back again. Sorry about that. Yeah, I actually forgot to turn my microphone back on. Anyway, I had a whole spiel about how you basically were sort of useless in this game. You were unable to hold, unable to even clear, and then didn't really send that much. I believe you only sent 3100 with 7-5. Like, you just kind of didn't do anything this game, which is not ideal, right? Yeah, you weren't even like able to cover 14, not that that was relevant this game. You really just got to find your role in the game, and your role this game, from level 5 onwards, it was just to be a lumber boy, right? You wanted to be a good dog. That's all it was. So yeah, and to be a good dog, you just needed more push, man. You didn't necessarily need to leak for your team, you just needed more push. So this one wasn't too good for me, to be honest. Played the early game alright, but there were still some positioning mistakes, which I'd consider relatively basic with Archer. Do see them occasionally in Lihl, but I would say generally they are just mistakes that I don't want to be seeing. You played not too badly early, but I think you just needed to sort of clue in to what your role was in the team a bit quicker. It's like a 7-5 elite archer in a 15 game, when you've got like a Tok and another fat lane and a couple of heals. It just doesn't do anything, right? If you felt you needed cover 14, then like maybe I could get around that, but then you needed to not get that Dragonhawk or that Griffin, right? Also place it behind. And then like the complete lack of a walk log was really, really bad, right? It's so important with whenever you're playing with like mostly ranged units, it's how they function, it's how they tank, right? Walk log is the ranged version of a tank. So considering it's elite archer and it's pretty easy, it's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10. I'm trying to be like pretty harsh. Definitely wasn't like a massive fail or anything, or like a terrible game. It's just like, in terms of Lihl standard, it's just a little bit lacking, right? There were some basic mistakes with the positioning and the build. Little like iffy on the Grizzly, and then not a fan of just staying 7-5, right? Because you just can't do anything on 7-5. Anyway, next game. This one's NG Dragon, which is Sky Dragon? Or a different dragon. Okay. So, you've got NG and Clock. I am one of the people that I would drop 2 Clocks and reroll. But you have got Engineer Obliteration Dragon, so you can play that as well. I I like clock, probably too much. I think it's completely fine to play that overclock this game. Anyway, this dude, I'll keep this. I fucking love me guard. Guard, Dark Mage, like Ranger, PD, good roll. We've got Akko with not much else. We've got Aqua Hydra. Okay. Just out of interest, we got Disciple, Nightmare, Grizzly, Carry Roll, shit, Panda, I guess. Okay, you go for the safe build, which is completely fine. Guard doesn't like Warrior. Fucking Crusader. I have no idea how this does against Warrior, to be honest. I don't have a clue. Aqua leaks, so yeah, Warrior cover is good. Going for the safe build, don't have a problem with it. So that's all fine. Would always go 4-0 for level 2. So we'll see if you do or not. Yep. You don't need the you don't need 220, 200 does fine. 5-0, pardon, not 4-0. I nearly always stay on 200 value for level 2. Just because 200 or 220 if you want to send the 1 income, or if you do regen or send 2 or something as a team. 200 or 220 is like, very rarely does it leak more than a couple of creeps to send. And the problem with 250 is that you can actually go mid to ascend. You don't want your engineer to get scouted. Like, that's a negative. Because then it just like opens up the options of like, oh shit, this guy's engineer. Because if they just see like a damaged verb, it's like it could be mouth, it could be elite archer, it could be aqua. Like, there are so many things it could be. Okay, nice. So you are pushing. Good. I believe that push was a little bit late, but I'm not sure. You can actually go 4-1 potentially, but depends if you guys are planning 3 or not. I didn't see it. If you guys don't have the plan in place, then that's fine. You say off, but you should be good here. I mean, Crusader is, for all it being a shit unit, it is genuinely good on 2. So we'll see how you're doing here. It looks like your Ferb was relatively aggressive. So you're going to leak a little bit. But still, it's like 1, 2, 3, it's 6 creeps. You got unlucky. It's acceptable, right? It's really not a massive issue. 220 would be no creeps. And yeah, 250, it's just, you don't want that engineer mid. So good decision to push, indeed. As you can see, Crusader. Oh, AT unit, man. No, I hate Crusader. So you actually get a cheeky scout. You see Nightmare, Panda, and Disciple. So 5 is not bad. Could go 3 as well, to be honest, and shoot the feed into the Nightmare. If he's got a TK roll, which you don't know, of course. That was, wasn't it that leaked, was it? Oh, it was Grizzly Peewee Rifle? TK. You go 300 value here. Yeah, that's fine. 270 is safe, but 270 you'd still be 6-0, so it's fine to go 300. I say 270 is safe. 270 is like the YOLO value. You do send 3? I think I like the 3 send. As it happens, he's Nightmare with Greymane. Grizzlies is actually going to get wrecked anyway because his focus is terrible. Alrighty, 50 King Leaks on 3. Game's pretty fucked. Your Crusader is showing why it's indeed a low tier unit. Leaking 3 to no send. Fucking sucks. So they now do scout NG Aqua Guard. It's not much of cover, but I'll have AOD. You underestimate Guard, my friend. Anyway, they have to up. They burn a heal. They burn 2 heals. Oof. Ouch. Pretty imbalanced game already. So the problem with this game is it's already like a little distorted environment wise. You go 7-0 here. Be 6-1. Be 6-1, not 7-0. Even if you had to wait for it. If you think about it, right? 7-0 pushing that last wisp gives you 2 lumber every 10 seconds. Pushing a lumberjack with 6 wisps gives you 6 lumber every 10 seconds. Okay? So it's 3 times as efficient to push the lumberjack, or it's like 2 point something considering it costs a little more, but 6-1, not 7-0. That's the point I'm trying to make. You also have just enough gold to go 7-1 and still get the dragon for 5, so you should do that. Good, done your calcs. So yeah, placement is good with the dragon in the back because it actually still runs forward. Yeah, no complaints. I love guard, man. Fucking love guard. So yeah, out of interest, what do they have? Disciple, Greymane, upped fucking Spectre. Ugh. Yeah, they're pretty rip here. To a big send. Panda Bro will do alright, to be honest, but yeah, so in terms of your team, yikes. Crusader, Violet, oh, it's all over the shop, man. But yeah, you had some 5 cover. Obviously, you just do your thing and YOLO as best you can with this. You hold 5. The Obliteration Dragon, you normally hold 6. It's obviously slightly inconsistent because it's just a bunch of AoE units. But yeah, it's good. I don't like that much actually. I thought they'd do a little bit worse than they did. But anyway, it's still going to be 15 odd King Leaks. 16 King Leaks, kill. You should be pushing here once you get the wood. Yep, good. You can build a bit if you want. If you want anything, a tier 1 in front is good. Yeah, wagon in front's fine. It's bad for 6, good for 8, so it's fine. You should already be holding 6, so I think this is easy 7-4 as well. Even though you have to send, this is like easy 7-4, man. You'll get that mutant. You have 50 income already. You know there's, with only like 1 holder on you and it's not that great of a holder, you know there's going to be King Gold. Yeah, right, cool. Push before send, generally. Especially with the leak to be expected there from the fucking Crusader. So, should be 7-4 early. Actually going all the way to 7-5. I would stay 7-4 and just get the mutant and play it safe, but the 7-5 is interesting. I'd do it differently, but I don't want to call it bad. We'll see how you manage it. Just the thing for me is with this roll, it's like if you don't get the mutant, what else are you going to do for 8, right? Like what other options do you have? Like another Void Dragon or mass meat wagons? Like if you miss that mutant, you're like really relying on the free reroll to actually have like a decent build on 8. Like there's no need for you to suicide this game, you're actually fat as hell. Yeah, so you just end up going like dropping 3 meat wagons, re-rolling, should sell them for a wyvern. Actually, wyvern's quite nice on 8. And meat wagon has 500 range, obliteration dragon has 375, so it probably, oh, not probably, it will just run in front on a range level anyway. Definitely want that wyvern, want to build it like right there, where that meat wagon is there, so got to APM a bit more. Anyway, first meat wagon on the wall did good, which is why you want it, but now this, now the ones at the back are going to be like DPS meat wagons, and they're not exactly paragons of DPS. Still, you've done rather well here, so I can't hate the 7-5. You like what? Is that 8 creeps? Yeah, 8 creeps. Like that's okay for sure. So yeah, it was good, I guess. I don't think it was needed though. I still think getting the mutant just was a lot safer for you. Makes you better on 9. You'd hold 8. You're already like 7-4. You had option to damage 10 them with like the 1 mutant, and on 9 you like drop some engineers and reroll. You reroll into this. You can grab a Hydra if you stayed 7-4. Or what you'd actually be able to do is just drop some scientists on 8, mutant, then reroll. You'd be able to get a Hydra for 10 with either some Wyverns or a mutant for damage. I think it would have been pretty good. You could be 7-5 damaging or 7-4 damaging as you preferred. I think that would have been really nice for your team because you've got like Giga carry roll. Don't like displacement here. Next to the wagon or in front of the wagon are your 2 options. There's like no reason to sort of build it far off the wall like this. So, back to the same point I made last game about the Elite Arch game about the walk log, right? Super important. You'd do a lot better here if that was placed differently. You may not hold, of course, but you would indeed do better. Anyway, you guys sending 10, big pudge send. They're sending pretty small. Alright, you got your Hydra with 7-5 anyway, which is pretty good. Yep. So, you won't kill anything. That's okay though. You're 7-5, did some damage. You've got a mid from red, who has not been just massing melee, which is refreshing change. I never want to see that many melee again, man. It's gonna haunt me tonight. Alright, they got Thorn Mail. Don't know if you saw that yet. Probably did on 8. Kill. So, full build for Arena. Okay, don't like that Hydra positioning at all. In the mid game, so in the early game, on like level 1 to 9 or 1 to 8, 1 to 9, Meat Wagon's a nice front line. Okay, nice walk log front line. In the mid game, Meat Wagon, the job changes, they become DPS. They're good at killing behemoths. And they just generally have like acceptable AoE DPS on a lot of levels. They're decent 16, 17. They're good anti-behemoth on 15. You do not want a Hydra behind a Meat Wagon, right? You want the Hydra to tank for the Meat Wagon because Meat Wagon will do more damage that way. Pretty simple. So Hydra up here for the walk log, then you can start building them out this way. It's okay to have that one Meat Wagon a little forward. This empty space, that would be for like a true pirate or something if you decided to build that. So not a fan of the positioning there. You do get a drunk pirate, which is fine. You want a full build for Arena, makes sense. You're not confirmed winning it. So I think it's completely fine to full build here. So you're fat as hell this game. You played pretty well indeed. Yeah, this is the best game so far, without a doubt. So not flawless, but pretty solid overall. Anyway, let's see how you go through the mid game. We'll speed up a bit for this. I imagine you're just going to build Hydras and then mutants. Alrighty. Hydra here, true pirate, kill. Not sure how I feel about this unit yet, to be honest, if it's even like worth it for you to build it at all. But once you've got the drunk pirate, I think it's good to get it. I'm just sort of musing. I'm not it's not like an actual criticism at the moment. At least get a 14, are we? Oh, we don't really need to be. You just go like 3 Hydras, rest bloody Aquas if you're that scared of 14. But anyway, whatever. Okay, that. I'll point that out on 14. You got a cheeky little misplacement there. They actually sent 13, which is kind of surprising. You do fine. Yep. Mass Sea Giant dude is mid. PD dude is 3k value. Anyway, positioning error that I wanted to point out. Okay, so see the Sea Giant? You got a half gap missing, which is not just about OCD. It's again about this bloody walk log, right? So if this Sea Giant's tilted slightly forwards, even when it becomes a Hydra, it's going to come off the wall and like into the middle. And then all your shit over here has a chance to like walk further off the wall. It'll be easier for the creeps to surround your units. Okay, and you'll generally have worse focus, alright? So you want that half a spot back, get the even focus across these units. It's like this one's just going to run in front, take a greater than its share of the aggro, die overly quickly, and as I said, pull your units off the wall potentially. So I imagine it's just like a misclick, but it is something to avoid for sure. It's more than just like an OCD positioning kind of thing. It does actually matter. So you can see it's the first sea giant to die, and it's like not even close in terms of how much it's sharing. Anyway, use guys, use mates, use brothers, use send 15, which makes a lot of sense. Give you a nice slow leak with the dinos there. You go on mutants now. Makes sense if they didn't send here, you get some cover for 17. I think it's more likely a 20 to 21 game, honestly. So I'd really stay away from them, but understandable. Once you see the dinos on 14 man, just go for hydras, go for wind riders, because it's a 20 or 21 game. Then they're never sending 17. Don't know when you upgraded this meat wagon. Would stay away from upgrading meat wagon in general. I only just noticed that now. Not a major issue. But yeah, like they send the dinos on 14, right? You know that your dude's gonna recover. Their dude is going to recover if they haven't already. I think they have. Yeah, they don't even have like a leaker here. So you should know that there are probably going to be no leaks unless your team decides to force them after 15. So if they somehow manage to survive, right, it's going to be like 21, 20 if there's leaks, otherwise it's going to be like 21, right? Which means that for 21 your build is like 6 hydras and wind riders, right? Mutants, like you maybe get 1 because it's good versus the behemoth, but you don't want 3 mutants for any of the relevant levels now, right? So you'd want to stay away from them. I mean, you can be pretty certain the game is over, but regardless, just it's one of those little like optimizations that if it was a closer game, if they were fatter, if they sent 13 wanting to bait you 15, anything like that, you could like screw yourself potentially, right? So just something to think about. Still, this replay was better than the others. Pretty happy with it. This like, it's probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. There are a couple of like positioning tweaks. Wasn't a fan of the 7.5, but I got to say it worked. So not bitching about it. Definitely would have sold those meat wagons on 8 for a wyvern. And then there were just like the points I made about your like sort of placement, your build in the mid game was like definitely had some sort of shaky areas, but overall that was good. Best replay without a doubt. So yeah, that was like 8 out of 10 for me. I was pretty happy. Indeed, so yeah, well done. Moving on to the next one and the last one. Disciple with turret. So we'll see how this one goes. Alrighty, orange this game. Yep. Dream team, apparently. Is this your dream team? Is it? I'm not in it though. Huh? No hope of getting vouched if I'm not even in your dream team, man. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Alrighty, out of interest. Yeah, sure. Big. Turret. Sentry. Alright. So, this is a reroll indeed for you. I'm sure you could do some like TK shit with this on 7. Like zombie. Maybe like... I'm sure there's a player that could make... Actually, now that I think about it, this might be like a fucking sexy roll. Like 2 zombie with like an add for 3 into like this on 5, Fire Overlord 5, and like upgraded on 7. Like a butcher or something. I don't know, man. Maybe it's crazy. I would drop and reroll though. What would I drop? I would drop an egg for sure. I would drop 1 crab or 2 crabs. I think I would drop 2 crabs, yeah, because 2 crab can go into some builds quite nicely. Would definitely drop a Spectre as well. I hope you do that. Okay, next time drop Spectre. If you reroll, if this was Mouth and this wasn't Disciple, and this was like some shitty tier 5, you'd be really sad to not have that Spectre, right? So, Spectre is like the best tier 1 for early game, just as a tier 1. Like, it's not even close, it's so good. Like Parrot's insane for 10 and with AoE only, but like Spectre is just good with everything. And it's ranged, which is always good. So yeah, drop that Spectre next time. Besides that, not a big issue. So, do you need to pussy play with your egg sack, considering you have egg sack in your roll still, right? So, because you rolled egg sack again, do you need to cover warrior? Your team has knight. Don't know why we've kept that on free roll, but anyway, knight sucks versus warrior. Got 2 mouth with Spectre, small mid. Knight saber, leagues. I'm okay with you keeping this egg sack, yeah. You could go either way, I'm alright with it. Because like if it was just a random ad, like a, I don't know, let's say novice or a servant or some shit, I'd say like, nah, sell it. But because it's an egg, you'll actually have a healthy bloody disciple if they send warrior. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Don't think so, man. So anyway, knight, probably going to play standard-ish cavalier. Single player LTD campaign. Browder, get around it. I would be actually fucking keen. This will just YOLO. And this will... Oh, could go either way. Okay, but anyway, your job is just to YOLO. And be a good boy, basically. Next to disciple, half a spot down? Nah. So you're saying you should put the egg here? You shouldn't put the egg here with disciple. Okay? Second egg, sort of there, is okay. But first egg, you actually do still want it up here. Right? The reason for that is the creeps clog around the egg. The disciple shoots its spell like this way. And hits like 60% of the way. That's fucking nuts. Right? It's exactly what you want. If you put the egg here, right? The creeps are going to come here, and they're going to blob out. Some are going to be here, some are going to be here, 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 here. The disciple's going to shoot. It's going to hit like 20% of the wave. Okay, that's why that placement that was suggested to you of the egg here is not good. Okay, second egg is okay there. First egg is terrible. Okay, so you knew the placement, alright, but now you know the reason, alright? It's pretty useless to just have the knowledge without the wisdom, right? And like the knowledge being like, egg sack goes here, the wisdom being like, egg sack goes here because, right? Wisdom is just the application of knowledge. That's all it is. So as you can see, like just watch this disciple. See the next skill? Pew, 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 pew. Hitting like 60% of the remaining creeps. It's insane, right? That one was stupid, but that one happens. Right? So like this disciple has just like massive, massive output. Okay, with the egg placed there. Alright, you go second disciple here. Good. I like the placement behind as well. You don't want it right behind the egg. Yeah, good placement. No complaints. All good so far indeed. Okay, so you're going to take another quick look at your team's roles just to think about like what's your job this game. So you got disciple, egg, and turret. You don't have your free reroll. So this dude's going to overbuild, but he doesn't have a carry roll. In fact, his roll is on the weak side. This dude's like not bad, but once again, doesn't really have the carry roll. This dude, not bad, not great either, to be honest. No carry roll. It's mostly dead value for the mid game with the saber, like sovs, whatever, parrots, nice for 10. So he's got like options, but yeah. Okay, so for this game, you do want to stay alive, so I can live with you playing a little bit safe. If your team had carry rolls, like I don't think you build again till level 6 this game, and you go like one turret in front for 6, and then you just push like 7-5 as early as you can. Anyway, I'm okay with you playing a little bit safer this game than that. Let's see, what send do you get? You get a Blood Orc, so we're going to watch this egg sack again. So just Blood Orc is going to get sucked to the egg, yep. And just look how many creeps these two disciples are going to be hitting because of the egg sack positioning. This is like 60-70% of the wave. You don't even get a proc on that egg sack, right? Doesn't even proc, and just look how well you're doing. So that is why that positioning is good. You're holding the Blood Orc, alright? And that's all because of the exact positioning. Alright, insane. If you place the exact like next to that disciple, I guarantee you would leak. I guarantee you would leak. Okay? So that is the wisdom to go with your knowledge there. It's always important to know the reason. Otherwise, you're just like blindly doing it, and like who knows why at that point. It's like I had a sailing coach. Annoying old bastard he was, but is very, very, very good. And he always said that I could make any change I wanted on my boat if I could tell him why. And if I couldn't tell him why, he wouldn't let me out on the water. Okay? With that change done. So it's like if I wanted to change, like ease my vang by like 2 marks and outhaul on by say 1 mark, just as an example. I realize that most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. These are like settings on the boat, right? That control the sail. If I wanted to change that, right? Say like more vang, less outhaul, and I couldn't explain to him why I wanted to do that, he'd just be like, no, not interested, right? Not allowed to do it. If I could explain why, no matter how like stupid or wrong I was, he'd like let me give it a go and see how it felt, okay? And then like talk about it with me afterwards. So it's like if you can't explain why you're doing something, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of it, okay? I mean, like, that's nothing to do with your voucher quest, right? That's just like generally sort of like my philosophy on things. I've really like taken that to heart. I think it's such a good lesson. It's really helped me a lot, at least. Anyway, you are what, 7-1 here? Easy 7-2. Easy 7-2. Could actually go 6-3 if you wanted. But you're a little low on the lumber to actually get the push 6-3 completed. Second egg sack, it's fine. Yeah, as I said, second egg sack, it's okay to build here. So yeah, that's not an issue. Yep. Then you just need 1 turret for level 6. So it should be pushing 7-3. A little unlucky to leak because your first disciple actually ran forward, so I guess you'd want that second egg sack 1 spot further in front. I'm not gonna shred you for that though. That's not a major issue for me, because it's a mistake I could have seen myself making as well. Second egg sack here, I don't mind it. Okay, you get another egg sack. Definitely should be a turret. Eggs pretty shit house on 6. Doesn't always proc. And the turret's like nice supporting damage. It's AoE synergizing with AoE, so definitely should be a turret here. Alright. Bit of a mistake there. Besides that, it's going pretty well so far. Okay, how you doing? You're leaking a bit. Alright. You leak like half the wave here, so that means you are now lumber bank. That's okay, you don't have your free roll. Personally, okay, I'm not going to say personally, it's like you wanted to keep your options more open in this game, okay? Because you had a pretty alright setup with like disciple, turret, egg sack, okay, to transition into a mid-game holder if you get a good 50 reroll, right? This is not a carry roll, this is not a carry roll, this is not a carry roll, right? When your team doesn't have any carry rolls, if you've got like a good base, which you have got with Disciple Egg Sack, right? You want to keep your options more open than this, okay? This is too big a leak to make you relevant, like a relevant holder in the mid game, unless like the game just becomes like stupid fat, or it's like straight 17 and you reroll like Tok Mutant or something, right? Outside, excluding like outlying circumstances or like very much unrealistic, unlikely circumstances, you've probably screwed yourself out of a 15 hole by leaking here. It's not the end of the world, okay, but it now means that the only sort of reliably good way you can play for your team is to push up and be more of a lumber bank, right? Which isn't a problem in and of itself, but without a carry roll, without a reliable sort of mid, or even reliable potential mid at this point on 15, on 14, 15, well, I guess you have cover 14, but it's fucking 14, like, they're not going to send. Without, like, that reliable sort of cover for 15, at least one mid, or one, like, strong chance to mid, you really want to keep that option open, alright, for yourself. And that's because of the egg. If it was a turret, you would have done so much better. Anyway. You're still 7-3, 7-4, 100% here, man. There's no reason to build. You don't need to clear. Like, you just push at this point. You're useless lane. Clearing 7 is not relevant. You wouldn't clear versus send. You'll only clear versus no send. Take a feed from players that now have better chance of holding 15 than you and chance of holding 10. So it'd be much nicer for them if you leaked more. But it's okay. But I would just get the push in quickly. Surprised your Saber didn't go for a free hold, but that's okay. Yeah, like, not much to say, man. There's 2 turrets at the back. They're nice for 8, but they just don't do anything. You did push 7-4 now, though, so that's good. That is good, but if they sent, you wouldn't have reached that. Firmit and you missed the 7-4, and I don't believe they would. And I don't believe they scouted anything that would be like, oh my god, we can't send 7, right? If I was looking at your rolls, I'd be thinking like, yeah, Firmit looks pretty good. Anyway, moving on. Another turret here, you had 150 golds, another turret is fine. Then another egg sack. Or if you, like, I don't think there's much point saving 60 gold here. Would definitely just grab another egg. Like, there really is no reason to save gold here. You're going to reach 7-5 either way. You're not going to reach 7-6. Another egg is useful for 9. Will make you probably hold 9 just like that. Even though you probably hold 9 just like this. And it'll just let you kill more on 8. There's kind of no reason not to build it at this point. Anyway, moving on. You should be pushing here. So you've done some king ups, I think, first. Just get the push in more quickly and then king up afterwards, right? It's more efficient. You do want the turret in front of the disciple on 5, 6, 7. Like, this is better for 8 though. So I think the positioning you had is actually good because you're not too worried about 7. You should be more worried about 8. So the turret positioning was actually good, which is why I didn't comment on it. I don't tell you what you've done well, I only tell you what you've done badly. It is actually a bit of a bad habit of mine. Wouldn't say I'm like overly negative or a pessimist or anything, I just tend to highlight the mistakes more so than positives. I'm aware of the whole like compliment sandwich theory, just, yeah. Anyway, easy hold, 9. Should be anyway, Disciple is just ridiculous on 9. It's crazy, man. What do you got, like 850 value or something? Not a problem. Anyway, 7-6. I'll go 7-7 at this point. Just followed Moa's pretty pictures. Not following the whole chat log, which I don't need to. Whee! Look at this, I'm screenshotting that. Oh, that's heavy as, man. Look at all the fucking goss you pick up watching these replays. You see, you gotta be careful what you say. You gotta be careful what you say, man. You never know which mod's gonna see it. Oh. Moa is famous in Mega, apparently. What are you doing here? Pushing? Good. Once again, push before send, man. It's just more efficient, yeah? Unless you're, like, really low push, you need to get that send in as best you can. Like, hasn't been the case with the times I've mentioned it, yeah? Get the push in, then you'll still be able to send without a problem. Yeah, and the thing is with this roll, now you've played in this manner your 7-7, right? You can go 7-8 if there's like good king gold here. You don't have to. It's kind of up to you. What you can do is basically just play Disciple Egg Sack, right? And just clear 15. You should be able to clear 15 with 7-7, 7-8. You really should with like 2800 value. Should be able to clear most of 15. So, no need, would never use that 50 reroll before level 15 now. I think you're very unlikely to get anything better. You obviously have no chance to mid, but that's okay. Right, so you decide to go 7-8. It's alright. I would stay now though. You can still leak every level with 7-7. And it will just let you clear 15. So your team has now rerolled, or this guy has. He's now got like potential to mid. Okay, with Dark Mage, Dark Priest. Pretty nice. We've got Abno with some Spectres, and we've already got some Spectres. Abno, sorry, bloody AOD. Abno Spectre, so we've got a chance to mid. We haven't rerolled yet, we really need to hurry up and do that. So yeah, your team's now got mid potential, and like you have the option to clear with 7-7. You're clear with 7-9, 7-8, and then even to 7-9 just goes like right down the shitter, yeah? You're still going to send Infernal on 15 with 7-7. You can leak every level. You might have to save a bit of gold on 13. That'd be a level to watch, but I mean, you should be able to pilot that well enough. If you're really, really not confident, just build an egg sack on the split and then drag half the creeps to this side, which will then come and attack your backline and fuck over the Disciple aggro, right? Easiest way to just confirm a leak on one level. Yeah, you would still send like 3600 because you full banked on 10, right? Or no, you didn't full bank on 10, but like 7-7, you'd still be able to send like that 3600 on 15. And at that point, like, what does sending more even do? You get like 2 extra Warlocks by being 7-9. It's like, that does fuck all, man, right? It's really not that important. Like, once you get the Infernal, you break a lane. The Warlocks, like, they're nice, but they're not critical. With 7-7, I think you could leak 0 Centaurs. I really think you'd be able to leak 0 Centaurs. Okay? With, like, 400 more gold, and just full Disciple into, like, 7 egg sacks, right? Okay. Next thing, with Disciple, I actually want to be building this delay here. The reason is that'll clog the creeps to this wall, which will then clog the creeps. Again, wall clog, super important. Something that I see you're like either unfamiliar with or you haven't been utilizing it basically as you should be. You build the 2 delay egg sacks here. Don't build the cult because it might split you. Like who fucking needs it anyway? It's useless. And then the creeps clog to this side and then run up along the wall and clog on these egg sacks, and your disciples get like maximum damage, right? Like this, you can see the creeps are all on this side, okay? And then they all come across like this, and your disciples are going to be like really inconsistent. Like some of the creeps will go right up to the turrets and a disciple will shoot like this way. Or some of the creeps will be like right up on this egg sack here and the disciple could shoot like this. And there's just like, if we pause it sort of now, look, wherever your disciple shoots, unless it's like this one shooting here, has like decent hits. And then this one shooting like here has decent hits, but anywhere else, and they're like pretty inefficient, right? So you can see like the way they're shooting right now, they're barely hitting any creeps. Imagine if like the majority of the creeps were still like stuck out over here, okay? So like just because you want to delay, you'll actually delay your leaks more if you kill like half the wave, especially on 13, okay? So it's just going to be more efficient, you'll get more gold, you give 0 bounty anyway. So you could just easily be clearing your lane. But you've kind of sacked that with the overpush, and with the egg sacks here just make it worse for you. Specs are a meme. Specs are good. You are underrating them here, my friend. What do we got? Dark Priest, kill. Have we rerolled yet? We have. 3 alchemists in front. Yeah, we needed some front line. Should be going Ice Troll, Spectres, kill. Alright, zooming through here. Now you have push 7-9, realistically. Probably like one more Disciple for 13 and then just rest Exacs and leak as slow as you possibly can. Yeah, the other option would be to sell everything, which in Lihl rules at least you wouldn't be allowed to do that now, but sell everything. Don't get more turrets, by the way. Turrets are much, much worse than Disciple on 15. On 15, Disciple is good damage. The reason you don't see it very often for the mid-game is because it can't hit the sends. Like, it literally doesn't do damage to the Demon Kraken Behemoth, right? But as a low-value clear option, it honestly, especially with Exac or slower, it feels very similar to Tok in how well it clears. It's just not as good as actually being a holder, because Tok is frontline and tanks for your backline damage that can kill the Demon Kraken Behemoth. Disciple is backline and doesn't tank for the damage, for any damage dealers you might have, okay? But Disciple's really good for just a clear, okay? So you're, I think you're underestimating it a bit there. Actually, I think you're underestimating it a whole hell of a lot. Anyway, they're better than Revs? If you're talking about Spectres, nah. Revenant's much better. Part of the problem with Spectre is like they take up so much fucking food. Okay, but yeah, at this point, I would change those 2 turrets into 1 Disciple. I would change that Disciple into 4 Exacs. Like, you've sacked your clear potential, so just leak as slowly as you can, right? The other option, I think I cut myself off earlier, would be to sell everything like before Arena, and then just leak super fast so that your demon gets killed by the king before like any of your lanes arrive mid. But I think with this, leak slow is just fine. Just max build Exacs. Exacs don't normally proc on 14, they do normally proc on 15. So you can watch here, no proc. No proc will actually slow it down. No proc, no proc. No proc. No proc. Last one. Yeah, no proc on 14 because the creeps have so much damage, but they will normally proc on 15 if they're not getting attacked by the Demon Kraken Behemoth. So just like what you mentioned is use your food on like Wraiths. If you're talking about the upgraded Spectre, I covered this earlier in one of the earlier replays. Right, you're building damage here. Damage doesn't do anything. You're too low value to ever even like come close to clearing. The amount of creeps you kill, like with your build, you'll kill like, I don't know, 5 more creeps than with my build, but the difference between leaking 20 centaurs and 25 centaurs is like there's no fucking difference. With more eggs, you'll just leak a whole hell of a lot slower. It'll just give you a better result. Anyway. Okay. This looks okay. At the moment, we'll see how your team does. I mean, it's really not that interesting watching your lane at the moment. Sorry, mate, but it's kind of true. You're in a league. Anyways, so yellow's doing alright, but he won't be able to quite go mid. This like Dark Priest, a little bit weak. I don't believe he had as many Dark Mages as he would have wanted. But yeah, no mids on anyone. He actually does manage to kill the demon. I'm surprised. I didn't think I'd manage that. Anyway, yeah, well done to him, I suppose. I thought he wasn't doing quite that well. What was I sort of thinking? Yeah, as you can see, like no one can quite mid from your team. Would have been really nice to like have the option of just being a carry roll, right? You get like a super early 7-4, come into the mid game with like 150 income. If you get a good reroll, you've got mid potential. If you don't get a good reroll, then like Sailor V. But yeah, I think this was like the early game. You played it not too badly for sure. Some mistakes, without a doubt. The six was a big misplay. Kind of like you pretty much suicided for no reason on 6, to be completely honest. But then, yeah, then it was just really, really confusing overpush to like that 7-9. It just doesn't do anything, right? You get the same send with like 7-7. You don't need pardon me, you don't leak nearly as much on 11 to 14, right? Gives you a whole hell of a lot of gold to play with on 15. And I genuinely think against like Demon Crack and Behemoth, you could have gotten away with leaking like very few centaurs, if any at all, with 7-7. Okay, so definitely something to think about. Replay for me, probably, I think it was probably like a 5 out of 10. It was good in the early game, but I feel like you sort of misunderstood your options and like what your team was kind of lacking in the mid game. You didn't have a carry roll until like re-rolls that were all after arena, and even then yellow still couldn't mid with the Dark Priest, just because Cavalier fucking sucks, man. It's a terrible unit. Yeah, so it was not bad. It was not bad, but there were definitely like some issues. So, but no, overall it wasn't bad, right? So we'll have a chat with the other blokes and we'll decide. Anyway, all of you guys watching, cheers very much. Appreciate you watching. And Quetra, of course, thank you very much for allowing me to sort of record and publish this. I do appreciate it. A few people have sort of asked for something like this. So yeah, just, take the advice. Think about what I've said. Any questions, of course, feel free to ask. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that. And I will see you all next time.